So Madam Mayor,
we've got to do 11.5.
That's correct.
Which is on page 129, nomination for the Local Government Dog and Cat Management Board.
I'll declare a material conflict of interest and leave.
Right, do you have your documentation to present to us?
It's everything that needs to be presented to council is on the agenda.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, I was on the understanding, and in the past we've always tabled documentation to go with a nomination for Garrock, and I know Councillor Pickett did that a number of times, and I did for the Libraries Board a number of times. I just wondered why those documents were not supplied.
Through Madam Mayor, so Councillor Lemon and I had a conversation, and I'll just confirm that Councillor Lemon is in the process of preparing the supporting documentation. Her intention is if this motion gets up, she will complete that for the submission to go to the LGA to complete a nomination.
And you see that before it goes to the LGA?
Well, I will cite it, yes.
It's just that in the past, whenever these have been done, those documents have always been cited and actually included. And I appreciate and understand she might not have had time to do that, but I just was expecting that we ought to have sight of those documentation, of those documents before they're forwarded on, that's all. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Sorry, we need a motion first. Councillor Hughes?
I'm happy to move, but I don't wish to speak. I will just sum up if other people speak at the end.
Councillor Davis, you're seconding?
Yeah, I'll second Mr. Mara.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak then? Councillor Dawes, I think, and then it was Councillor Davey.
Yeah, just a question for administration. I did go on to the website today for the Dog and Cat Board, but how is the nominee selected? Is it by the LGA board and not by councils? Is that how it works? Can anybody tell me?
So, no. So the way the process works is that the LGA, there is currently a vacancy, and it's the local government representative vacancy. The process is that now all councils have an opportunity to put forward a nomination, and the LGA will then, out of that group, put forward a nomination to the, I think it's Minister Spears' office.
Yeah, but is that a board decision of LGA? That's the question I'm asking.
Yes is the answer.
Yes.
But the step that we're required to undertake if we wish to have a councillor from the City of Burnside be put forward is to endorse our nominee.
I'm going to just say that in the past all those nominations have had to be done, like the Libraries Board one was done, the decision was made by the local government board as to who got on and who didn't. And I'm assuming it's exactly the same. Councillor Davey, you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Notwithstanding all the skills, abilities and experience of Councillor Lemon, I can't support this. Looking at the Dog and Cat Management Board, there are already 2 people associated with Burnside on the board. It's a 9-member board. The chair is the ex-mayor of Burnside, David Parkin, and we have a staff member, Phil, as a ministerial appointment. I know this is a local government nominee. I just think it's not a good look for Burnside to be nominating someone when we've already got 2 people associated with Burnside. So for that reason, I would rather not support this nomination.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question. Sorry.
Yeah. Question, then it's Councillor Henschke, then I think, did you have your hand up, Councillor?
So we put this into the mix though, but there's no guarantee that Councillor Lemon will get on the board anyway.
That's correct.
Thanks.
I can say that Councillor Pickett and I had no hope. No success at all. In 5 attempts, I think, or 6 attempts between the 2 of us. Right, Councillor Henschke, you were next.
Yes, thank you. Through the Mayor, a question to the administration, please. I'd like to know from the administration, from a governance point of view, and reflecting on what Councillor Davies said what their advice would be regarding balance on the board. Thank you.
With regards to your comment on governance, sorry, through Madam Mayor, comment on governance, the only governance process that I have to have regard for is the process set out by the Dog and Cat Management Board on how they recruit, and this is the established process that if council wishes to nominate a councillor, they're required by resolution to nominate a councillor for consideration by the LGA to go to the next step. I don't think it's for the council to determine whether they want to nominate a councillor. My personal view is that why wouldn't we want a Burnside councillor sitting on this board? You'd argue there's more representation for Burnside to get what we want for the city of Burnside.
Councillor Davis, you were next.
Yeah, I'd just like to speak in favour of Councillor Lemon. I've known her for 7 years now, and I've always found her to be incredibly careful and considerate of all issues. So I think that she'd be an excellent representative for the City of Burnside Council on that board. And further, I think that, you know, the fact that we have other members who are currently sitting there, such as David Parkin, is only a good thing, I think. So perhaps they might take that into consideration, but I hope they wouldn't. I think that it doesn't, like as the CEO said, I don't think there's anything lost by putting a nomination in, and I think Councillor Lemon is very keen to be on this board. It's something that interests her deeply, and I think she'd do an excellent job. So I absolutely endorse you and recommend that you vote for a Burnside councillor to this position.
Councillor Cornyn.
Thank you, Worship. Yes, I completely agree with many of the sentiments Councillor Davis has mentioned, certainly about Councillor Lemon's work ethic and reading agenda papers and getting down to the issues. In terms of representation from the City of Burnside, I think there are more issues. Like we ask for local members for our CAP, like from our residents, you know, that we don't have an issue with that. And I'm sure the Law Society and judges predominantly preside in the City of Burnside, so I don't think we've got an issue in terms of, you know, representation there. I think it's just we have a lot of dedicated people in the City of Burnside that actually put their hand up and want to represent their community. So you know, the decision's really not up to us whether or not someone gets appointed or not. We're just here to support a nomination, which I'm very happy to do.
Councillor Turnbull.
Thank you, Mayor. I find it difficult to endorse someone who hasn't spoken about what she's going to bring to the role, why is she there, what she wants to do with it. We don't know anything, so I won't be voting for it.
Well, can we ask her to come in and do that?
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I missed that comment.
But can we ask Councillor Lemon to come and address us as to why she wants to stand?
Certainly, Madam Mayor, it's more than appropriate.
I need an indication from the rest of the group if that is what is your wish. I'll seek hands to support that or not. Now, I'm not going to make the decision, or I'll get told off for making the decision. So I'm seeking your support as to whether you wish to hear from Councillor Lemon. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's, yeah, 10. That's right. So yes, could you please? Thanks, Magnus. That's why I was looking for the documentation, because that's what the documentation says. Because I've been through it before on the Libraries Board, and I know Grant has a number of times with Gareth. Majority of the council wanted to hear what your justification for applying for this position. I guess that's correct. Is that my correct interpretation of what was asked? Okay, thank you. We thought if we'd had the documents in front we wouldn't have to ask you, but because we haven't, then we needed to ask you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your interest. I'm sending my application separately because the application is actually to the LGA. It is not to the council. The council merely endorses my nomination. So it's not it's not a done deal, because then you're in with everybody else that's gone to apply. But the reason I'm interested in this, and I have been interested in this board for a long time, it currently only has one elected member. So this is representing elected members across Metropolitan Adelaide. The only elected member we've got at the moment, there isn't a Metropolitan member on that board. It is the Mayor of Victor Harbour is currently on the board. I've been a councillor for 11 years. The criteria for this is a knowledge of local government, a knowledge of legislative processes, and a good, sound working knowledge of how the LGA and governance in council works. I've been a councillor for 11 years. I have this knowledge. I have this knowledge hard won over the last 11 years and through 3 election processes. I've also had this knowledge in my workplace, where I worked in the Department of the Premier and Cabinet, looking at legislation, looking at how it is enacted within the state, and looking at how it changes. My view on the Dog and Cat Management Board is that it needs work. The legislation currently needs updating, and my understanding is that the board itself has put this off until after the state election. So come March, they'll start updating some of the legislation. And some of the legislation that needs updating is the stuff around cat management. While the board has actually said that it wants cats to be registered, it has no enforcement on that at all. I feel quite strongly that the board needs to be more clear in its policies to councils, because something like dog and cat management, if it's going to be looked at from a policy perspective, it needs to be looked at across the state. It's no point in having cat bylaws in one council and next door having cat bylaws that are different. There needs to be some model legislation, some model policy that is actually put out by the board to assist councils in managing dogs and cats in their area. That currently doesn't happen for cats, and it currently doesn't happen totally for dogs either, but that's another issue. So I just think that it needs somebody with, oh, have I gone that long already? It needs somebody with a bit of a dispassionate look and a bit and a way forward in the longer term. This appointment is only for 12 months. I had to sign the guarantee that should I not get elected again, I will resign from the board. So we're looking at the next 12 months, nothing more, and it's not guaranteed. It's up to the LGA as to whether they choose me or not. So I best leave the game.
Yeah, thank you very much, councillor. No, I think that'll be fine. Thanks, councillor. Turnbull, did you have a question? That was it. Yeah, sorry, I just hadn't crossed you off my list. So anyone else who wishes to speak? Right, then I'll go back to the mover, who was Councillor Hughes. Do you wish to speak? Right, okay. So I'll put it to the vote. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Could you invite Councillor Lemon back, please?